Your this is going to on again.
Okay. Welcome, guys. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Please keep on filing in, keep on sharing. Let's get more people on board. While we're waiting for people to tune in, please let me know where you're tuning in from so that I can just hail you and acknowledge your presence very, very quickly. Another Tuesday, another episode of the Niger FC podcast. And boy, do we have a lot to cover today. And we have some interesting topics to get into. I'm excited for this one. It should be a fun conversation.
Hmm.
It should be a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Please, if you're on YouTube, make sure you like the video, guys. Don't wait until the last minute. Don't wait until we have to beg you 10 times. Please like the video. If you're on any other social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, X, please join us on YouTube or subscribe on Instagram. If you subscribe on Instagram, you'll be able to watch the full show without issue. But if you're not a paid subscriber on Instagram, the show is going to end for you. So please join us on YouTube, youtube.com/@ Eagles Tracker NG. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Please join us on YouTube. Someone is asking me questions. Emeka, join us on YouTube and ask that question. Thank you. But I would also let you know that Joey Barton is not somebody that I take seriously.
Yeah.
So I couldn't care less about Joey Barton. Uh,
Mhm.
But yes, guys, please join us on YouTube. Join us on YouTube. Switch over to YouTube now or subscribe on Instagram. If you subscribe on Instagram, you can watch the full show. Otherwise, it's going to end in a couple minutes when we get into the flow of the conversation. I see you, John Jones. Thank you for joining. I see you, Abdullah from the UAE. Thank you. Ianolua is joining from Akure. Thank you very much, Yanu. Alexander Joshua is watching from Bono State. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please switch over to YouTube, guys. Please switch over to YouTube so that you can enjoy the full show uninterrupted. And it's also a way for you to support us. Um, if you join us on YouTube, you are supporting us more, or you can subscribe on Instagram. Just go to our profile page on Instagram, click on subscribe, and then complete that, and you should be able to watch the full uninterrupted show. Otherwise, please switch over to YouTube from wherever you are watching. But yeah, I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are good. Everyone having a nice start to their week. Smith Layi, how's your week going so far?
Not bad, not bad. Back to normal after going on holidays.
Mm,
For few days. Back to reality, back to the
yes.
weather.
Man, yesterday for
Yeah.
me was so hectic. Yesterday was such a busy day. But thankfully,
Uh-uh.
today was a bit more relaxed. I watched my team win, for the first time in a long time. So
Yeah.
at least I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
Um,
but it was Polonia she was playing. Why you're not start for Polonia like and Joaribo.
I
The two
mean,
went to the cleaners today.
if Onuachu scored, I wouldn't have been mad, but
Uh-huh.
Southampton, they don't get level for that club. So I wasn't really expecting
Mhm.
them to do anything. This is the team that Chelsea can beat. Next game now, Chelsea will go back and do nonsense. Moyo is watching from Texas. Thank you, Moyo. Thank you. Chiedu is in Ontario, Canada. Where in Ontario are you, Chiedu? Where in Ontario are you? I see you, Odozoni. Please join us on YouTube. Timo Sterling, Bright Lucas, join us on YouTube, guys. Emeka, join us on YouTube. Ugo from the UK, join us on YouTube. AAR Sports, join us on YouTube. Ahmed13706, please join us on YouTube. Zek Cora, please join us on YouTube. Kari, please join us on YouTube. Thank you for joining so that you can enjoy the full uninterrupted program because the stream is going to end here on Instagram unless you are a subscriber. You can subscribe to our Instagram page and enjoy the full show. Otherwise, please join us on YouTube. It's a little thing that you can do to support the content, support the channel. Ochedu is in Brampton. Thank you for joining. Okay, Let us get into it. Final call, guys. Please switch over to YouTube. Another Tuesday, another podcast. Let's go. Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you've been watching or listening to us from. This is the Niger FC podcast where we bring you our unfiltered, honest, raw opinions on everything in the latest topics surrounding Nigerian football. Of course, as always, I'm your host, AyoT, and I have with me once again my fantastic co hosts.
Smith Layi, thank you guys for joining.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you guys are all having a great day. I hope you guys have had a good start to your week. We have quite a number of topics to cover from Nigerian players in action, some rumors surrounding Nigerian players, some unfortunate news surrounding Nigerian players, and of course, we all know what happened with the AFCON is not a major tournament statement. We'll get into all of that on today's episode of the Niger FC podcast. As always, guys, you guys know I always like to start by doing a rundown, a review of the past week in terms of Nigerian players' performances, who played well, who didn't, and all that good stuff. Okay, very quickly, I'll start from the goalkeeper. Stanley Wabali in goal, only made one save for Chipa United. Adebayo Adele was also in goal for NOC's considered two goals. Not the greatest performance from many of our goalkeepers, but we have to highlight the ones that did play. In defense, we had Calvin Bassey in action for Fulham, one tackle, 6 goals, one the other day. Also came off the bench today. Chibuike Nwaewu with 4 interceptions, 5 goals, 1 and 12 clearances for Wolfsberger in Austria. Adams Friday with 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 clearances, and 7 goals, one for FC Botosani. Gabriel Osho had a good game, keeping a clean sheet, making 4 clearances and winning 2 goals for AJ Auxerre in France. We had Chidozie Awaziem, good start to the MLS season, keeping a clean sheet, 6 clearances and 7 goals, one for Colorado Rapids, his new club. Jordan Torunariga with a clean sheet, 2 tackles, 7 goals, 1 and 12 clearances for Carragher Ghent in Belgium. That was a good display by him. Igor Ogbu scored a goal from a nice header, 3 clearances and 9 goals, one for Slavia Prague. And then Hamdi Akujobi created 1 goal scoring chance, made 2 tackles, made 4 clearances and 1 4 goals for Almer City FC in the Netherlands. Moving on to midfield, Emeka Eze with 1 assist and 5 goals, one for Haras El Hadoud. We also had Chukuma Akaboeze Bentley with 1 chance created, 4 tackles and 6 goals, one for Salion Faspor in Turkey. Adam Yakubu created 1 chance, 3 tackles and 7 goals for AS Trenchin. We had Franco Onyeka with 1 chance created, 2 goals, 1 and 2 tackles for FC Augsburg in Germany. Inamdi Ofobo created a chance while also winning 7 goals for Swindon Town in England. Ibrahim Olawoyin assisted a goal, made 3 tackles, completed 4 dribbles, and won 10 goals in Rizespor's fantastic comeback victory over Samsunspor in Turkey. We had Alassane Yusuf with 1 chance created, 3 interceptions, and 5 goals won for New England Revolution in the MLS. Tom Daly Bashiru scored a goal from the penalty spot for Watford in England. Abdul Musa Zubairu created 1 goal scoring chance and also won 7 goals for MFK Zemplin. And then James Adeni created 2 chances and won 7 goals for Hapoel Hadera in Israel. And then moving over to the forwards, Anayo Iwala scored a goal for Al Arabi Kuwait. Sadiq Fatai got an assist for Penafiel in Portugal. Francis Eze with 1 goal and 2 chances created for Ankara Kekerenguchu in Turkey. Jesse Sekidika was on target for Sabah in Azerbaijan. Moses Simon scored a goal, created 2 chances, completed 4 dribbles, and won 8 goals for FC Nantes. Philip Anzango scored a goal and won 4 goals for Spartak Trnava. Of course, Ismail Akinade with 1 goal for Terengganu. Stephen Chinedu won a penalty and created 3 chances for Radniki Nice. We had Yunus Amuritada with an assist and 7 goals won for Sigma Olomouc in Czech Republic. Mohamed Tijani scored his first goal for Plymouth Argyle in the English League One. Friday Etim with an assist for CD Mafra in Portugal. Solomon John, 1 goal, 4 chances created from Lada Boleslav in Czech Republic. Torilope Ojo with 1 goal and 1 penalty, won also 8 goals, one for El Guna FC in Egypt. Gift Orban scored a goal and created 1 chance for TSG Hoffenheim in the German Bundesliga. Samuel Amadi with 3 chances created for ENNPI in Egypt. Sani Suleiman, 3 chances created, 4 tackles, 8 goals, one for AS Trenchin. And then, of course, our star of the week, Ademola Lookman. 2 goals, 3 dribbles completed, 5 chances created for Atalanta in their Italian Serie A victory over Empoli. Fantastic display by a number of Nigerian football players, and of course, Ademola Lookman is this week's star of the week. The team of the week reads as thus: Stanley Wabali in goal, Gabriel Osho, Jordan Torunariga, and Hamdi Akujobi in defense. Philip Azango on the left side of the midfield, Sani Suleiman on the right side of the midfield, Ibrahim Olawoyin and Franco Onyeka at the center of the park, and then 3 forwards are Ademola Lookman, Solomon John, and then Moses Simon. Congrats to everybody who made the team of the week. of course, some other good players that just missed out because I saw some people were arguing with us and said Victor Ban should be there. And I just always tell people we judge based on overall performances, not just the statistics or not just the league that the person scores in. Some the other players, Solomon John had a good all-round performance. They did not just about him scoring a goal. Moses Simon had a good all-round performance, and of course, Ademola Lookman, the star of the week, had a good all-round performance. But yes, that's how the Nigerian players performed. Smith Layi, anybody that impressed you in particular this past week?
No, I have to pick the player he did not pick. Actually, what Gift Orban. I think what's it called? He did a very good job. Fantastic. I like his way. He's calm, composed. That finish was actually what fantastic. And I texted immediately. When he actually when he dribbled the goalkeeper and actually when he dribbled the defender, and actually was scored straight away. So fantastic. I was really actually impressed with Gift Orban and also Lookman. The last time that we discussed about Lookman was the controversy between Gasparini and him, and we see exactly the way things actually were turned out. He performed well, and I'm really happy for Lookman too. Good job.
Mm. Fantastic. And I mean, I will say that Gift Urban goal was a beautiful goal. Beautiful goal, fantastic composure, fantastic finish. He did, did well to score that goal, but
Hmm.
somebody else just performed better than him. It doesn't mean that he did not perform well. But it was a fantastic, fantastic goal. If you didn't watch it, subscribe to our Instagram page and you can watch all the Nigerian goals. But not all, you can't get every single goal, but a lot of the Nigerian goals on our Instagram stories. But you have to be a subscriber. Just click on our profile, click on subscribe, and you can enjoy all this exclusive content on our Instagram page. If you are watching on other platforms, this is your final call to please switch over to YouTube as the show will be streaming exclusively on YouTube in just a moment. And if you want to watch it on Instagram, you have to be a subscriber, a paid subscriber. Click on our profile, click on subscribe, make your payment, and you'll be able to enjoy the live stream as well as other exclusive content that has already been posted and more that will be posted as we continue to move along. Okay, let us let us keep going very very quickly. This didn't happen over the weekend, it happened last week, but I wanted us to just talk about it to start today's show. Our superstar player Victor James Osimhen, he scored a goal and hit 20 goals for the season as Galatasaray unfortunately bowed out of the UEFA Europa League. He now, has 20 goals across all competitions. If you watch their game this on Monday, waste of everybody's time. They just went there to fight. If we're in Abacha and Galatasaray, they just went there to fight. But in the Europa League, fantastic strike by Victor Osimhen, 20th goal of the season. In the Europa League this season, played 7 games, scored 6 goals, made 1 assist. I mean, fantastic display for him. So Smith, let's start with that. What did you think of that Osimhen strike in the Europa League and overall his performance so far this season?
I think when he actually was doing Galatasaray, you personally set a target for him that he should score certain number of goals because of the level of opposition that he'll be facing in the Turkish league. And so to some extent, Victor have been delivering both in Europe and also in domestically. So that's goal against Eze Akman.
Easy outcome, yeah.
Eze Akman actually what capped a fantastic season for Victor Osimhen. So for me, I think you beat those in front of you. I'm really impressed with what he did this season, and yeah, I'm impressed with him. So that's why when I asked him that question, that I think this is last derby, against Fenerbahce, I said, I love this club, but he didn't say yes or no. But we all know that Victor Osimhen, his days in Ghana actually was not there.
Hmm. No. I would say for me, I mean, I was very glad to see Osimhen score that kind of goal. Not just the fact that he scored a goal, but the quality of the goal as well. Fantastic strike. I think it was like on the edge of the box. You know,
Yes.
it's not the typical goal that Osimhen scores with his head or when he's just
Mm-hmm.
finishing from close range. And you
Mm-hmm.
could see his hunger and ginger in that particular match. I thought it was a beautiful goal from him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I mean, 20 goals for the season. Yes, I know that he's playing in Turkey and we don't rate the Turkish league that highly. He's playing in the Europa League. It's a second rate European competition. But still, we have to give him credit for what he was able to do. We have to give him credit for the goal and for the performance for the season. I want to see him to score 10 more goals this season.
Mm-hmm.
Just 10. And when he scores those 10, I can say yes, Osime has impressed me. So far, he's doing what He's doing what I expected of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it that way. He
Mm-hmm.
has been having a good season, but Osimhen is one of the best players in the world. This is not something that we are not expecting from him. So I want him to go and hit 30 goals this season. If he can get 30 goals and 10 assists, let's just say
Mm-hmm.
something like that, 30 goals and 10 assists. Nobody can even complain. Nobody can say Osimhen this, Osimhen that. Even I that have been saying the Turkish league is not that strong and I need nobody can complain. That's a fantastic return. The likes of Mo Salah are getting those kind of returns every day. We can see what Kylian is currently doing at Madrid. So for me, I want Osimhen to be dropping numbers that are competing with the best of the best of the best. Let's bring Osimhen back into Ballon d'Or conversation you know. Obviously not this season because nobody's going to rate what he's doing in Galatasaray. But at least let's be able to fight these fights for him. Let's be able to argue these arguments for him. But I'm happy with how things are going so far. Of course, he's probably going to win the league. I think they're ahead with 6 points right now, Galatasaray. He's probably going to win the league in Turkey unless something bad goes wrong in the Turkish league. They're out of the Europa League, but at least let him just keep on scoring these goals, and we can look back on the season with pride, and then we can now look forward to wherever he decides to go in the future. Probably he should join Chelsea. Chelsea needs a supporting striker or a striker to bench Nicholas Jackson. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, shout out to Victor Osimhen. Long may it continue, and hopefully more goals to come this season. Okay.
Yeah.
Smilai, I want to now ask you and talk about a young player, a
Yeah.
young Nigerian player who, a lot of people have been big on for a while now. He went to play in the MPFL, made his move to Europe, and finally made his debut for Mulder FK in their Europa Conference League game. It was a fantastic game where their team went one man down, but they held on, they fought hard, eventually got to a penalty shootout. And the coach trusted our boy to take a penalty shootout on his debut on that big stage that he has never played before
Mm-hmm.
and he scored. I remember I was watching that game when I saw him walking up to the penalty. I was just in my mind, I just dey pray, say, "Oh, more, please let this boy not miss." Because if you should
Mm-hmm.
miss penalty on your debut like this, it can be tough to deal with mentally. They might not
Mm-hmm.
trust you again, all those kind of things. And he stepped up with confidence. He slotted it, into, and then he rose his shirt and released the message, "Unless they kill God," you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was just very happy for the boy. I was just very happy for him. I'm talking about Daniel Daga, if anybody has not figured that out already. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, he didn't have too much to do when he came on. He had one shot on target, but again, because his team was a man down and they were essentially just trying to hold on for penalties, he wasn't too involved in the game, but he was still decent. And then, of course, scored in that penalty shootout. But Similai, how did you feel? What did you think? Watching him make his debut for Mulder.
Yeah, I was impressed, and just like you, I was slightly, worried when he wanted to go and take that penalty because I was like, this is like a baptism of fire,
Hmm.
on his debut. But he's a guy that played at the World Cup under 20 before. He's used to those big occasions before. You do respect to playing against Shamrock Rovers, as it is Shamrock Rovers. I think that you should be familiar with that. For me, it's a good place to actually was start. And I think he gave a good account of himself, despite his team going one man down, in that game. So for me, I like the way they're introducing him, and those that are even advising him to, they advised him well because he's starting in a league that can command a regular playing time and he's starting sports. So I think if he get used to Europe and develop well, I think that he can actually move forward. For me, I think it's really really good for him. I just hope that his development will continue because IoT will follow the law of Nigerian players. A lot of Nigerian players played in Norway and they didn't make it from that Norway. I don't want to mention names, but those guys I'm talking about. They just played in Norway, and Norway was their peak. So
Hmm.
I just hope that it can build on this starting sport and do well. I told him before he went to the World Cup that 20. I said I rate you as a new Michael Essien.
Hmm.
He's slightly behind now, but let's hope he can actually catch up
Hmm.
and get to Michael Essien's height.
I mean, if he can become a Michael Essien, we know how legendary Michael Essien is in African football.
Mm-hmm.
Played fantastic for Chelsea, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Essien also played for Real Madrid, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So if he can have that kind of career, that would be top, 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 top. We've not
Mm-hmm.
seen many Nigerian players have that kind of career. That's the reality. Only
Yeah.
maybe Osimhen that is on the trajectory to have that kind of career.
Mm-hmm.
Lookman, even as big as Lookman is, I mean, Atalanta is still the biggest club that Lookman has played for. So, of course, we're expecting that in the summer, maybe he'll join a Juve or join a PSG, but if Daga
Yeah.
can reach that kind of height, it's going to be fantastic for him. And I mean, we're rooting
Yeah.
for him, we're supporting him, we're wishing him all the very best. Young talent with a lot of prospects. A lot of people are looking up to him. I hope that the pressure doesn't get to him too much because sometimes it
Yep.
can be difficult if you're a young player and people like Smith Layi are already calling you Michael Essien. It can pile on some pressure, but again, pressure. Some people fold under pressure, but
Mm-hmm.
some people thrive under pressure. And I really hope
Mm-hmm.
that he's one of those players that is able to thrive playing under that kind of
Mm-hmm.
pressure. Um, Somebody said he should first become Indidi before he becomes Michael Essien.
The mouth no good.
But yeah, fantastic one. Wishing Daniel Daga all the best as he continues his journey, his new journey with Moda
Mm-hmm.
FK. Okay, let us move forward. Let's talk about another Nigerian player. Let's talk about a Super Eagles player. But before I do that, I'm just going to make a final call to anybody that is watching on other social media platforms. Please join us on YouTube now. The stream is going to end in approximately 4 minutes on other platforms. So please join us on YouTube. You do not want to miss the conversation when we start talking about Super Eagles, we start talking about the list, we start talking about the AFCON, about the World Cup qualifiers. So please join us on YouTube. Search for Eagles Tracker NG on YouTube, and you will find our beautiful green logo. And you can tune in and enjoy the live. And of course, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you're already watching on YouTube, thank you. I appreciate you. If you haven't liked the video, please make sure you like it. If you want to support us, you can always leave a super chat. That costs you money, but liking is free. I promise you, they won't charge you anything for liking the video. Subscribing is completely free on YouTube. I promise you, they won't charge you anything. And if you share with your friends, it costs you absolutely nothing. Okay, let's keep the conversation going. Let's talk about the Nigerian player who's been on form this season. I made a video asking his team to please get him some help, and in a relatively big game for them, they were able to thrive and able to come out on top. With him, of course, scoring a goal and then having a fantastic overall display. I'm talking about Moses' daddy, Simon. I mean, Simon has been having a good season for FC Nantes, leading the team in assists, one of the top assist makers in the French League One overall, and of course, scoring a number of goals for his team. His catching form, he's doing well. We have match qualifiers coming up. Smith, like, is this the best time for Moses Simon to be hitting this kind of form when we're looking forward to our games against Rwanda and Zimbabwe? What do you say?
I think it's like it's in its form of life. And I don't know, maybe because he's just used to playing for Nantes. I'm happy that Simon continues to actually do well. I have to be honest with you, he's a player I don't rate as highly as that. But when he hits his form, he performs well. And a lot of people don't know that this guy is one of the most consistent player in the Super Eagles. If you look at it was so instrumental to Nigeria qualifying for the AFCON 2025. If a country like Ghana had Moses Simon, they would have qualified. But
Mm.
unfortunately, they didn't have that. So, so for me, I'm happy that Simon is doing well, and also there's some things I will not be able to say here. He had conversations, very good conversations with Eric Sagochile, and he was so impressed, with what Chile has for him. So for me, I think it's like a match made in heaven. Let's see what is going to happen in Kigali.
That's it. And I mean, I'm very happy. I'm very excited for Moses Simon. Guy has been balling, man. I've been watching a lot of his games this season. He has been doing really well. And again, we want Nigerian players to be in their best form, to be in their best shape, leading up to these
Mm-hmm.
crucial games. Because the truth is that if we drop points in either of these two games, things will start
So
to look bleak for us as far
it's
as
even looking big
qualifying.
now.
So it's already looking bleak. So if we now drop points, imagine how it will be looking
It's going
exactly.
to be bleaker.
So we need to win our two games. So we need everybody in form. Osimhen needs to keep scoring. Lookman needs to keep scoring. Simon needs to keep scoring, keep creating chances. And fingers crossed, everybody can stay fit because that part we're going to get into fitness talk in a bit. But that part
Mm-hmm.
is a very very
Mm-hmm.
dangerous one. We hope that nobody gets injured ahead of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Qualifiers. Shout out to Kelechi Nwakali. I saw you played today again for Barnsley. I think they won their game, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations on that victory. But guys, please, if you are watching us on Instagram, the live is about to end in about 20 seconds. So please switch over to YouTube, youtube.com/at Eagle Striker NG to enjoy the show. I don't want to now, so please nobody should complain when the stream ends. Or you can subscribe on our Instagram page. Click on our profile. Click on subscription. If you don't see subscription, click on more. Subscribe will pop up. Complete the steps and subscribe to enjoy exclusive content. And again, shout out to everyone that's already subscribed to us on Instagram. It's a little way that you can support us. It costs you less than a cup of coffee, and it goes a long way towards us creating more content, being able to cover more content for you guys, create exclusive content, and of course, for me to be able to pay my staff because I don't like to owe salary. Um, but yes, thank you very much, guys. Join us on YouTube. Okay, Smith Lai, let us keep the conversation going. Let us keep the conversation going. We've spoken about Victor Osimhen. We've spoken about Moses Simon. More Nigerian players did well. Let us talk about your boy. He is heating up. He is in good form. Another goal for him this past weekend. I'm talking about Gift Orban. Gift Orban, that for whatever reason, some Nigerians don't are not big fans of him. I don't know. His nationality is causing rift amongst Nigerian fans. Some people don't want to support him. Some people want to support him. But of course, the boy is in good form. Scored again for Hoffenheim. When he joined that team, we discussed it and I said, "Bah, I think this can be a make or break move for him. He absolutely has to shine in Hoffenheim because we know that he did not do well at Lyon. And I'm happy that he has hit the ground running and is performing well. In his last 5 matches now, he has 4 goals. It doesn't matter how the goals go in, as long as the goals go in. And this past week, the goal went in a very beautiful manner. And the only thing that surprised me a little bit was that I started seeing some people saying, call him up, he must be on the national team, the next team, blah, 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 things like that. So, Smith, I'll ask you, 4 goals in his past 5 games after struggling in the first half of the season. Is that worthy of a Super Eagles call up?
If you, I don't think, I think it's early to call him now to the Super Eagles. But if you look at the top 5 European leagues, the top 5 European leagues, when you compare his numbers with any of our strikers, the top 5 European leagues,
How many
you know,
strikers do we have in the top 5 European
top
leagues?
five
That's the first
European leagues.
question.
That's a big question.
If
We
we're
have
talking about number
Santos
nine,
Uche.
if we're talking about number nine, is
Uh-huh.
Santos Uche, who else? Victor Boniface.
Somebody face.
You can include Natantela because he plays there
Uh,
sometimes.
yes.
Who else is in the top 5 leagues that is a striker?
Bolonachu.
Paulo Noachu, yes, in the Premier
Mm-hmm.
League.
How about Woniyi?
Taiwo Awoniyi, yes, that's
Uh-huh.
5.
Uh, Aqua
Well,
Adams.
Akko is injured, but he was. I
Injured.
mean, he played first half of the season in Montpellier,
Yeah,
so we can
Montpellier.
include him.
So for me, he's like the best performing player in the top 5 European leagues,
Mm.
as a Nigerian striker. So for me, in the different national team, you get a call up. But when you have players like Boniface and Victor Osimhen, even if they're not informed fully, they still go be ahead of you because they probably know, they know what it takes to be in the national team. For me, Gift Orban could be the joker in Kigali.
Hmm.
He could be the joker in Kigali. It's just someone that is, I just want to say, is different from the strikers we have. Look at the goals he scored. That is Gift Orban for you. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's under pressure. Can you see the way he dribbled that guy? We need that calmness in front of goal. And it can actually will provide that. But for me, I just think that the list has already been submitted, before the form actually was start eating form. But for me, I think he's going to get his chance in June when we play against Russia because that's like Russia is looking for who that people that
Nigeria,
keeper.
NFF. We're like, I don't want to use any crass word, but we're just for the highest bidder. Anybody with
But
you
yeah,
pay, we go play you. We're just looking.
you know,
Anybody with you pay us, we go play you.
they got to go and pick Nigeria and Zambia. So come and play. Why don't you go and play England?
It's
Uh,
hungry. Now hungry people now.
uh-huh,
Anybody with at least go see where you go use player bonus is small.
uh-huh. And also, Senegal is going to play against England.
That's a good game.
That's a good game to
Yeah.
see. So for me, I'm happy for Giltoman is more. But for me, I just think that he didn't make the 31-man list. So and I think that June is too early for him to come in match. So June will be fine.
You
And
know,
maybe probably see him against Africa September 2.
for me, it's just incredible because I always say like sometimes I love engaging with people. You guys know me. I love engaging with people. I love having debates. We talk about all these things. But sometimes I'm just like Nigerian fans are so spur of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will just maybe have one 5 game stretch that he scores a number of goals. All of a sudden, call him up. He's better than this person. He's better than that person. When I saw the comments, I was like, come on, guys. Like I know he's having a good spell, but we need to we cannot devalue what it means to be a super ego. We cannot devalue what it means to earn a super ego's call up.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody scoring 4 goals in 5 matches does not mean that all of a sudden the person deserves to play for the senior men's national team.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It should not be about purple patches. It should be
Mm-hmm.
about consistency, about a period of time, about you showing quality. And I'm not saying that Gift Urban is not a quality player, but we know that he struggled with Leon in the first half of the season. He wasn't getting that much playing time. Some games that he played, he didn't do too well. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually, they gave up on him and they let him go to Offenheim. Obviously, things have turned around for him. But you cannot just say, he has scored 4 in 5. Okay, so call him up. It's not that simple. It's not for me. It's not that simple. And I know he's doing it in Germany, but still, I don't think that that's enough to call somebody to the national team. If he can keep scoring like this to finish the season, maybe he finishes the season with like 10 goals or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, and
Mm-hmm.
here then we can say, okay, in June
Mm-hmm.
call him up when you
Mm-hmm.
compare to how the other players are performing. But we cannot be calling people up simply because of one purple patch. It doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
like that. I'm not trying to knock down anybody because again, this guy did it for a long stretch in the first half of the season, talking about Tolu Arokodare. But again, the reality of it is that with football, there will be times where things slow down for you.
Mm-hmm.
Arokodare is not scoring at the same rate that every week then he was scoring two, scoring 1 goal, 1 assist.
Mm-hmm.
He's still
Mm-hmm.
having a good year, but that's just the reality of life. Things, you can have a fantastic spell where you're just firing, 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 and then sometimes you can even go 5, 6, 7 games and you're like, bro, what's going on? Look at Kopama now with Chelsea. Where it's like all of a sudden it's like, bro, why can't you score? You know? So for me, I think people were getting a bit carried away with Gift Urban. I hope that he can continue with this kind of form. I hope that he can continue with this kind of consistency, finish the season very well, and then we can look towards him in June potentially. Because again, the rest of our strikers are not firing like that, except maybe Victor Osimhen. And Boniface came back from his injury and has not been able to get back into the team to be able to play and score consistently. But of course, we know the quality that he has. Gift Urban, I mean, I like him. But one thing that I think that is working for him in Hoffenheim that affected him in the past is that in Hoffenheim, if you watch the games, he's not trying to do too much.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in and around the 18-yard box. That's where
Mm-hmm.
goals are scored for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best strikers in the world, the likes of Harry Kane, I mean, nowadays or in the past few years, Harry Kane, yes, we know he will drop to midfield. But when you look at the goals that they score, is in and around that penalty area. Don't try
Mm-hmm.
to be the ultimate playmaker all the time. Get into the right area. Like the goal that he scored this past week, the ball fell for him. One caught the person, remove him, and then finished it nicely. The only thing that I would say is that, Smith Layi, when you were speaking, you said, yeah, the composure, that's what we need. But I will say this. We were criticizing Victor Boniface the last, I think was the last window for not taking chances one time. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody cuts player now and maybe they shoot
Mm-hmm.
and they don't score, some people might
Mm-hmm.
say, why not just shoot him? Why not just strike him? So obviously, different circumstances, different games,
Yeah.
different things happen. But at the same time, I remember the game against was even Rwanda when Boniface caught on his left foot and then hits the crossbar. People did not give him credit for that. They say, he could have shot it. Why is he putting it on his weak foot? Things like that. But at the same time, I mean, we like that kind of confidence, that kind of composure in front of the goal. But for me, I think one of the key things that has worked in Gift Orban's favor for Hoffenheim is that he's just playing in and around the penalty box. His first goal was a tap in. No need to stress too much. You get that first goal, your blood starts pumping. You want to score more. And then he's
Mm-hmm.
been scoring goals from just close, close, close range. You don't need, again, one of the things that we knew him for was his audacity, the
Mm-hmm.
different kinds of shots and things that he would try. At this highest level, you don't need all of that because there's a less, lower chance of you actually being able to execute those things because players are higher level at this stage. Just get in
Mm-hmm.
and around the box, score your goals. And for me, I want him to hit 10 goals this season. He should try to hit 10 goals before the season ends, and then we'll get more excited about him. I just hope that Hoffenheim can also stay in the league because it's a close call for them. They could easily get relegated, but I'm rooting for them. I think right now they are what 5 points above the relegation zone. So, but I mean, anything can still happen. Anything can still happen. Okay. Shout out to Gift Urban. We hope to see you continue to ball the end of the season. Larry says, is 4 goals in Germany greater than 15 goals in Belgium? Stop now. LOL. Okay.
No, I said top five European league. Belgium is
Yeah.
part of the top five European leagues.
Mm. Okay, okay. Um, VVV says, would love to see Lookman at Real Madrid.
Hmm.
Mm. I mean, Real Madrid, they have
That level
they,
though.
they have enough players already. If Lookman goes,
Vinicius, Rodrigo,
it will be tough,
Vinicius,
man.
Rodrigo.
It will be tough. It will be tough to
Yeah.
get into that side. It will be tough to get into
Mm-hmm.
that side. But yes, speaking of Ademola Lookman, let's talk about him. Let us talk about Ademola Lookman, our star boy, our African Player of the Year. Another game, 2 goals, MVP award. Fantastic display. The best way to do your talking for a football
Mm-hmm.
player is on the
Mm-hmm.
field. Of course, you guys that are watching must be aware of the comments that his coach made after he missed that penalty in the UEFA Champions League playoff match against Club Brugge. Lookman, of course, released his own statement saying how he felt disrespected. That strong head coach now came and said, well, Lookman was offended. I did not mean to offend anybody. Maybe if he can keep on practicing his penalties, that he can be
Mm-hmm.
the number one penalty taker. At the same time, Gasperini also hinted at the fact that he might be leaving Atalanta at the end of the season. He has a contract until 2026, but he said
Mm-hmm.
maybe he leaves now, maybe he leaves at the end of the contract, but he's for sure not renewing his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Lookman already wanted to leave last summer, so we are more than likely expecting Lookman to also be stepping out of Atalanta this summer. But I mean, his performance this past week against Empoli, back in the lineup, 2 well taken goals. If you guys have not seen the goals, this is why you need to subscribe to Eagle Striker on Instagram so that you can watch these goals in our stories. Fantastic, fantastic goals. Composure, just like we're talking about the composure for Gift Orban to score that his goal. The same kind of composure that Lookman showed to score his 2 goals, and also created 5 chances. 5 chances created in one match for his team. Fantastic display. What a baller! Like what an absolute baller. I I don't know what else to say about Ademola Lookman in terms of his quality, in terms of the confidence that he's playing with right now. He's rising to proper superstar levels, and I mean, he's just so good, and we need him in this kind of form as we are going towards our crucial World Cup qualifying matches against Rwanda and Zimbabwe. Smith Layi, what do you have to say about Ademola Lookman?
And I remember when yeah, Toure was saying something about Lionel Messi that when he's upset, when they kick him in training, instead of fighting back, he would take the ball and dribble anybody.
Mm,
That is how he shows that he's upset. And for me, Lookman is following the same thing. You can see he played like he was really upset. Fantastic guy, fantastic performance against Empoli. I was really impressed with Ashley Ward, with the way Ashley Ward performed against Empoli. And as you know, Italian media, when they got substituted, they put camera at
of
it.
course, now.
Maybe they go exchange blow, in between. So Gasparini too, he don't want problem. Was looking sideways, and Lookman just actually what left. For me, I think Gasparini danced naked. And if you look at the whole scenario, I think it's just because of his this father figure. I think it's almost 70 years of age now, 69 years of age. I think this father figure, this boy can be my grandson. That
Mm,
type of thing. He's not looking at it in like a professional environment. That's why he didn't actually want to apologize.
mm.
So for me, I think Lukman responded very well, and I like that he's getting the numbers. It's incredible. That's why I came on live that time to give him a shout out. Fantastic personality, fantastic response. People respond to things differently.
Mm.
Lukman, instead of responding and shouting online, Lukman actually what
He shouted on the field with his goals.
he shouted on the because people not coming out now. Say he shouted on the field with with his goals. So kudos to Lookman. I like Lookman, one of my best players, in Nigeria. I like Lookman, and
Mm,
so may he continue.
mm. We'll get back to Lookman in a bit. Let me just appreciate Charles Onwama for the super chat. He first dropped 199. Said, love what you are doing. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Charles. And then he followed it up very quickly with another super chat of 1999. Thank you very
And
much.
thank you, Charles. And I see. I think from today, don't read comments of people that not give super chat.
they are not dropping super chat.
If you don't give super chat, don't read their comment.
I mean, even if now 100 naira super chat, give 100 naira. Let's
Read the- if if
appreciate.
it's £2, give it. Give it.
You
Thank
know
you,
the funny
Charles.
thing about the super chat and this thing is the
Mhm.
people that don't give, that ask the most questions, that will give you assignments. Sometimes somebody will send me DM, oh, go and find us the statistics of this, that, and I just gonna look say, how much are you paying me for this work that you are giving me? You don't want to
Uh-huh.
send me on errand. But they say, oh, subscribe, you know, go subscribe. Oh, this one, you know, go this
Uh-huh.
one. But I mean,
Uh-huh.
I appreciate everybody that engages. Don't get me wrong. But
No, yeah,
the
I
reality
understand.
is that the ones that where they give us super chat, I appreciate them a little bit more because they're helping us towards creating this content.
Yeah.
For
Look.
example, the World qualifiers that are coming up this March, I'm already speaking to people, trying to engage people that are going to help us to create content from camp. These people
Mm-hmm.
are not working for free. We're going to have
Mm-hmm.
to pay them. So this 1999 now is going to go towards paying somebody to help us create content. So Charles, really, really appreciate it. You know, thank you
Thank
for
you,
the
Charles.
support. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
And so sorry, so that if you go do rubbish live, will you read your comment without super chat? If you don't, I'm just saying
I
that,
mean,
just saying,
it's
like
true.
that.
It's
We don't
true.
read it, no.
It's
We
true.
don't read
It's
it.
true. So, guys, please, if you're able to support 100 naira, £100,
Yeah,
$100,
yeah.
100 euros,
Even
yeah.
if you abuse us, we will read it. For super chat.
Very good. Okay. Let
Yeah.
me ask you this question because somebody asked it in the chat earlier. Ademola Lookman, the level that he's playing at 2 seasons in a row now,
Mhm.
is he on the same level as Victor Osimhen?
Ah, the year that Victor Osimhen won the league with Napoli, in all honesty, Victor was unplayable. We have to give him that. Victor was unplayable. Victor became an animal. Like Victor became like the best striker in Europe. You remember the goal against Roma? Victor scored all manner of goals.
All
Became
kinds of
a
goals.
nuisance. And you say something about a player trying to stay in the box. Talking about Gift Orban. Kudos to this guy. What's it called? Spalletti. He made Victor work less. Concentrate on that box. Give us those goals. And he was getting it. How I wish the country was ask him to do the same thing too in Gala.
Hmm.
So for me, if he should win the league with Atlanta,
If he wins the league, will you say that he's the same level?
I think so,
Hmm.
because his assist and contribution, I think is on a different level. You
Hmm.
don't expect Victor, you don't expect him to. You expect Rotigui to score goal, but this guy is getting the goals, just like same as Salah. You know, that's it. So for me, I think the numbers are out there. Are out there.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
mean, right now, I think they are 3 points off the top of the league, so they still have a good chance of winning the league.
Mm-hmm.
And Lookman is of course having a good season. If they win
Mm-hmm.
the league, I think Lookman will probably be the MVP if they
Mm-hmm.
win the league. You know the way
Yeah.
things are going forward of the year. I don't know. Maybe they might give it to like a Lautaro because I think Lautaro
Mm-hmm.
is also having a good season for Inter. But Lookman is the star player for Atalanta without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's going to be an incredible one. It's going to be an incredible one. I mean, the thing is, right now for me, I wouldn't put him on the same level as Osimhen. The way I look at it, Osimhen is 1A, Lookman is 1B.
Mm-hmm.
The way I look at it right now, Osimhen is 1A, Lookman is 1B. And just like you rightly said, that title winning season that Osimhen had with Napoli, it was just so incredible. It was
Mm-hmm.
just so good. It was
Mm-hmm.
so good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was arguing with people and I was entering every argument with my full chest and my full confidence. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that time I was telling people, I said, Osimhen is better than Vinicius Junior. Who fit follow me talk? I said, it's better than this. The season I had then was just incredible. I know Lookman won the Europa League last season, but we don't hold it at the same regard because it's the Europa League. You know,
Uh-huh.
it was still an incredible feat. He was especially outstanding in the final. It wasn't like he was scoring those kind of goals throughout the tournament. It was especially
Uh-huh.
outstanding in the final.
So
But
semi-final, final.
but Osimhen was outstanding for the entire season across the board.
Towards the end, it was calling penalty. I'm just joking.
But
Yeah,
It's tough for me.
he did well. He did well, but
Yeah.
towards the end, he tailored off slightly.
For me, I think it's 1A, 1B. 1A
Yeah,
Osimhen, 1B Lookman. If
yeah.
if maybe next season now, if Lookman does this again and Osimhen doesn't get the same level of performance, then maybe
Mm-hmm.
you can say Lookman has become the 1A. Because
Mm-hmm.
for me, one of the criticisms that I've had of Victor Osimhen in the past was that
Mm-hmm.
this is only now, this Galatasaray season is only the second season that Osimhen is hitting 20 goals in the
Mm-hmm.
season. And that's one of the things that I've criticized him for in the past. That as a top striker, you need to be hitting 20 plus goals consistently. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot imagine a season where Harry Kane or all the Benzema, all those kind of strikers that we rate, are not going to score 20 plus goals. So the fact that
Mm-hmm.
Osimhen has done it now, I have to rate it, even though it's Turkey. So I'm looking at it with a little bit of side eye. But if he
Mm-hmm.
can go next season playing for Chelsea, Manchester City, Man U, Arsenal, wherever he joins, and can hit those same kind of numbers, then Osimhen's consistency continues. But if Lookman goes to Juve and does as good as he's doing now, or goes to PSG and then links up with Carragher and all these Osimhen's former friend, and then scores those kind of goals again. But is this is the kind of debate that I like to have, because we are debating two players that are playing at a very, very high level. We're not talking about who is worse or who is bad. We're talking about two players playing at a very high level, and it's very lovely. It's very lovely to see. It's very lovely to see. And long may it continue, because my one desire for Nigerian football players, I want our Nigerian players to keep and all just be playing at the highest level of football for the biggest teams, being in these global conversations, because the disrespect that African players get is too much. And if we can keep on performing like this, the likes of Salah, of course, helping the conversations, the likes of Mane have been helping the conversations. And then now that we have somebody like Osimhen, Lookman joining into these conversations among the best players in the world, the best players in these top competitions, I think it's a good thing for Nigeria. I think it's a good thing for Africa. And long may it continue, man. Shout out to those two players. Shout out to everyone like my shout out to Victor Osimhen. Fantastic, fantastic players. And I mean, they still have a number of years under their belt. If you look at it based on how age and players progress, you will still say that somebody like a Lookman is still yet to hit his peak. He should be getting to his peak in like the next 1, 2 seasons. You will still say
Mm-hmm.
that somebody like Osimhen is yet to hit his peak. Osimhen too in another maybe 2, 3 seasons. You say that Osimhen should be hitting his peak. So
Mm-hmm.
if they keep on improving like this, it's going to be a fantastic one for us, man. It's going to be a fantastic one. We just have to qualify for the World Cup so that we can see these guys do this on the world stage. Because imagine Lookman dancing past Alexander Arnold and then slotting in a goal to send Nigeria to the semi-final of the World Cup. Just
Mm-hmm.
imagine, or dancing past Cucurella, or
Go
dancing
for it.
past anyone else is there, and then scoring a goal. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So I hope that our players can qualify for the World Cup and keep on this good performances. Shout out to Tom Tony with the super chat. He says, "My little way of supporting. See you both in Morocco. Yes, see you in Morocco in December for the AFCON. Um, let's see. Larry also left us a super chat. Thank you very much, Larry. Much appreciated. Thank you for supporting. Guys, be like
I
Larry,
don't challenge people.
be like Tom Tony. Let's see who can leave the most super chats on today's live show. But thank you very much for supporting. I really
But
appreciate it.
the leading
You can't, you're breaking up, Smithai. What is it? We cannot hear you.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
I said Charles is leading super chat.
Charles is in the lead.
Yeah, Charles is in the lead.
Charles is in the lead. Your
Yeah.
your mic thing might be touchy, so just check your mic properly, because
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's
Just
touching a
yeah,
little
I think
bit.
it's back now. It's back now. It's just like I went down slightly.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Let's move forward. Let's move forward, and let's talk about, from all this excitement, all this positive news. Unfortunately, in this life, there's the good, there's also the bad. We've had some unfortunate news that has come up over the last few days to a week. Um, and I want to start by one that we have to pay our respects to a Nigerian player who unfortunately lost his life in Uganda. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Abubakar Lawal, he was a forward for Vipers FC, SC in Uganda, and unfortunately, he lost his life. I know that there's some controversy surrounding the cause of death, the way he passed away. I saw that even our Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa made a post today saying that the authorities should look into it. But Smith, like, what do we know about this whole situation and the passing of this forward?
So it was Mogalawa was in Nigeria under 20 for Nigeria under 20 international. He played at the Africa Youth Championship, I think in Senegal, alongside the Adewale set, in 2015 or so. So I think they won that tournament, and he has been doing his thing in Uganda, and they have been performing well. So when the news came up that he's late, the news that came up was that he died when he died on a motorbike. It was a motorbike accident. But with the latest report now that we're actually hearing is that he went to see one lady, and as he actually went to see that lady, the lady left him in her apartment. So she went to get something in the mall. So before she came back, the guy jumped from the story from the building. He just jumped down directly,
Hmm.
and we heard that the phone and the conversation he actually had with the lady who actually were there. So that was a report from the Ugandan police now that is like they killed him. So it wasn't like a motorbike accident. So the car that he brought to see that lady was seen there, was parked, in that apartment, and it was like a murder case. So it's like taking like a new and different dimension now. Initially, it was reported to be a motorbike accident, maybe a cover up, but after like investigation, said that the guy actually was, he died. It was a murder case. So they are trying to investigate it now. So the lady that he actually went to greet, I think is around, I don't know the age of the lady. She had to actually write a statement, and also I think maybe probably need the neighbors too and the height witness to be able to like explain in details what they actually was. So for me, I think it's so sad. It's so sad to see him just go like that.
Mm. No, it's very sad. My respects to him. I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't very familiar with him. But of course, whether I know him or not, when you hear that somebody has passed away, is a very sad thing. When it's
Hmm.
also under such controversial circumstances, it makes it even more unfortunate and even more painful. My prayers to his family. I hope that he can rest in peace. I hope that they're able to at least uncover exactly what happened to him, because it can be very tough for families when you lose a loved one and you are not sure exactly what happened. The situation is unclear. You don't know if it was murder, if it was an accident. It can be very tough. It does not allow family members to be able to grieve in peace. So I hope that they're able to uncover all the details. His family can get justice if there's justice that needs to be got. And I I'm sad. I was sad to hear it. And our respect to him. Wish his family all the very best.
Hmm.
Wish his family all the very best.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's also, let's just say, what let's say players can learn. For me, I don't think there's any wrong he actually did there. I
I
just think
mean,
that, yeah,
he thinks that in this life you can never tell what's going to happen, man. I mean,
yes,
let's say he was actually, let's say he went to see a woman. There's nothing
uh,
wrong in going to see a
there's
woman.
nothing wrong in that. Yeah,
So it's just, again, and you never know. You can be sitting in your house, something can happen to you. The other
yeah,
day, on Saturday, I went to buy food. On my way back from food, somebody hit my car. No, I mean, thank God I'm okay. I'm here. But literally,
yeah,
like that Saturday, I was
yeah,
just like, what is going on? I ordered
uh-huh,
food. I called Nigerian, all these Nigerian restaurants. I called them, order the food. They said I should come at this time. I gave them, I got there 10 minutes after the time they say I should get there, just to give them
uh-huh,
extra time so that they're ready. By the time I
uh-huh,
reached the restaurant, I said my order. They said the food is not yet ready. I had to sit down inside the place for 15 minutes. So I'm
uh-huh,
already vexing. Oh yeah,
uh-huh,
they gave me my food. I'm now driving home. On the highway, somebody just from behind just hit my car.
uh-uh,
Like I was so angry. I'm just like, what is going on? So the reality of it is that you can be in your house, tragedy can meet you. You can be
mm-hmm.
on the road just coming back
And
from restaurants, tragedy can hit you. There's nothing wrong. I can never blame somebody for the circumstances that lead to their death.
yeah,
As far as you know, kill yourself.
uh-huh,
It cannot really be your fault.
yeah,
So it's a sad situation, and I wish
that's
his
a good
family all
one.
the best, man. I wish his family all the
Yeah,
best.
yeah,
Okay, back to the comments very quickly. Charles said, "Omo, he's not letting anybody to catch him up." Oh. And that's super chat from Charles.
yeah,
Thank you very much, Charles. We appreciate.
What about Folari Yusuf?
Yeah. Charles said, I can't help it. I just love how you guys represent Nigeria at this level. Keep waving the flags. Thank you very much, Charles. We appreciate your support. Fulani
Yeah.
Yusuf, with $299 and is asking a question: Is Murphy switch still a thing? Smindai, can you answer that question? Is Murphy
No,
switch still a thing?
Murphy has never been to Nigeria before. Murphy is just everything is just Nigeria. So, in my own opinion, I think that they have reached out to him, and I think that it's going to take time for him to decide. But if he didn't make the squad in this match under Thomas Tuchel, I think a switch might be on the card.
Mm.
Yes,
I mean, if he does not want to switch at 29, I'll be out easy. They should leave him in his.
leave him.
They
They
should
should
leave
leave
him
him.
in his place. I beg, because at
Mhm.
which age do you not want to be switching if you are not
Yeah.
ready to switch at this age? Somebody say your tea that's a sign to go and marry. How is person hit my car? You say make I go marry. Waiting that one do with marriage now.
No, you wouldn't see because I'm cooking at home.
uh,
That's what she was making reference
hey,
to.
I don't believe in gender stereotypes. If my wife doesn't
Hmm.
want to cook, I'm not going to force her to cook.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
even that are
That's it.
saying, come and give me wife, introduce me to somebody if you want me to marry. If not, and you guys, you see, if I marry now, I might not have time to be making all this content again. So let me allow me to take my time. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, let us move forward. Unfortunately for us, we're going to stick with a little bit of sad news.
Mhm.
Not as sad as the one we just discussed, thankfully. But as we're looking forward to this water qualifying matches that are coming up against Rwanda and Zimbabwe, over this past weekend, for whatever, I don't know which jazz they used though, but Nigerian players were just dropping like flies. Thankfully, we have somebody like William Trust Ekong that is on the way back from injury and coming back to fitness. But we saw three Nigerian players drop, three Super Eagles players drop this past weekend. One was a player that we were just celebrating his return, and unfortunately, he has gone out again. Talking about Shemi Ajayi, I was reading reports, hearing what people had to say about this one, and they're expecting him to be out for about 4+ weeks. A hamstring injury, so Shemi Ajayi, there's a very, very strong chance that he's completely ruled out of the match qualifying matches, which is unfortunate news for us. I want to see who Eric Shell is going to draft as a replacement. Maybe he can go. I don't know if he's going to go with a Torunariga or he's going to go with an Osho or he's going to bring in a new name like the likes of Igo. I don't know. But unfortunate to see Shemi Ajayi go down. Not only Shemi Ajayi, we also had one of our rising talents go down with an ankle injury. I'm talking about Officer Adele Bashir, suffered a knock early in the game that you can see the picture on the screen. He tried to play through it, he tried to fight through it, but when he took a shot later in the game, he just could not continue. That
Mhm.
one is an ankle injury. Reports in Italian media are saying he's going to be out for about 20 days. Of course, 20 days is just short of 3 weeks exactly. And if he's going to be coming back after 20 days, I don't think his club would want to allow him, even though it's not really in their hands. But I don't think the doctors would advise him to go and play such crucial matches for Nigeria because if he's not fully, fully, fully recovered and re-strengthened his ankle, it can lead
Mhm.
to further injury. So
Mhm.
that's an unfortunate one that happened to us. And then another of our young rising players, after just impressing in the Champions League against Ademola Lookman's Atalanta, Rafael Onyedika also suffered an injury playing for Club Brugge against Standard Liège. I had a brief chat with Rafael Onyedika, and he said, "See, they've not assessed him yet, so he cannot say exactly how serious the injury is. But he is very hopeful that he's going to be able to play. He's hopeful that it is not too serious, but we don't have any confirmed information about how long he's going to be out for or how serious the injury is." But similarly, three of our players going down, three players that have been doing well, not just even three players going down in one weekend. What's going on?
It's a arrogant juju. I'm just joking. For me, when it's like this weekend was like a weekend of like was so crazy, and the one that I was following the Liverpool's game against the Valencia also, and I was like I saw somebody down. I was closing my eyes. I said the leg is black. Ah, it's not no, it's not one of our players. Hey, I said he's finished. when I saw the ad, the ad is tinted this thing. I was like, oh my God. So for me, I think it's one of the players that I think Eric Chile will really be, will really be actually putting his hand on his head now and be saying that what is happening. So, it's just a shame. But the for me, if Lely Bashiru can play the game against Bologna, he should come to camp. But if he cannot play that game against Bologna, or he's not fit enough to even make the bench, he should not come. That is it. So for me, I think it can be. I saw a report that it might be his maximum of that 20. So if he can be playing against Bologna, on the 16th of
March.
March,
Mm.
I think he should be ready. The only player that I know that is out of the tournament is out is Carragher. There's no painkiller they want to give him, and there's no painkiller. He cannot play through the pains, and it's so sad. He was threatening, with headers and everything in the game. It was lively, and the coach was actually was upset. He could actually go down. For me, I think he was rushed back.
Mm.
I think he was rushed back. I realized they will allow him to play those less competitive. He can just stream to start directly. I understand that they are struggling with Mainz too, and West Brom, and you don't want to fall behind the promotion and playoff places, too much. They have to like bring Ajayi quickly. But for me, I think it was rushed. I think why can't you just start common,
Mm.
than to go and start the game directly? It's extremely sad. Now, inevitably, they have to actually what? They have to lose him for like 4 weeks.
Mm.
So Odedika is I'm praying now. But he said he spoke to him and he's in like what's it called? He's happy.
He's
So
optimistic.
he's optimistic. So for me, I just hope that the injury is not as worse. No, but injury where person work out by himself, it's always on the wrong side.
Mm.
I just hope that he's back. Onyedika is for me going to be a very big miss if he did not actually want to make the team.
Mm. And with the Shemi Ajayi one, I think one of the reasons why maybe they rushed him back was because they were without Kyle Bartley, their
Yeah,
other
back
center
yes,
back.
yes.
But Bartley was, I think, serving a suspension, so he was
Mm-hmm,
out.
mm-hmm,
So they
mm-hmm,
felt like they needed Shemi Ajayi to be in that position. Unfortunately, he
mm-hmm,
went down, and it looks like he's going to be out for at least a month.
mm-hmm,
But I mean, it's a very unfortunate situation, honestly. I just hope that in these few weeks that we have, I just pray, I'm knocking on wood, more players should not go down. I beg. I'm not
yeah.
saying you people should not, you people should try for your club, but please, if they try where they try, go enjoy you, please. Just if you feel just one small pinch in your hamstring, just coach, I beg, sub me off because
Mm-hmm,
Nigeria needs to qualify for the World Cup. We cannot stress this thing enough. I have already started having conversations. I've already started proposing to people. I don't want them to just stop replying my email if we don't qualify. So please, guys, Nigeria needs to qualify. Not only is it going to benefit the players for your reputation, for your CV, for your career, for your money, self. Even we in the media are going to benefit from it. The fans
mm-hmm,
are going to benefit from it. Like so many good things will happen if Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup. So I beg Super Eagles players, try your hardest to stay fit. If you feel anything, just rest.
mm-hmm,
No, we don't want any injuries. I like it's Rwanda, and I know that we're not supposed to be feeling like this, but we know that we've started already on a bad note, and
mm-hmm.
we need to turn things around in these two games. It's not
Yeah.
the one that will be using calculator to be saying, okay, if this person beats South Africa, if this one beats this one, maybe we can still qualify. I also don't want to go and do intercontinental playoffs. That's a long
Mm-hmm,
road. Let's not
mm-hmm,
qualify for the World Cup through the backyard. Let
mm-hmm.
us go in through the front door with the rest of the big boys.
Yeah.
Our group is not a group that we should be struggling so much.
Mm-hmm,
You know, Osimhen picked up a knock, but I think Osimhen is going to be fine. Now, and I'm
mm-hmm,
not too worried about Osimhen's one.
mm-hmm,
But it's these other guys that proper injuries. I'm just
mm-hmm,
hoping that some of them can come back on time, and hoping that we don't have to miss out on another fantastic World Cup. Not
mm-hmm.
that even an expanded World Cup. It would be so
Yeah.
embarrassing for us not to qualify. Speaking
Yeah.
about the World Cup, speaking about Victor Osimhen, Osimhen did an interview after the game with respected journalist Oluwashina Okeliji, and he spoke about the World Cup and spoke about the fact that it's every young player's dream to be at a tournament like this, and of course, he wants to go to the World Cup. Osimhen is motivated. Kenneth Muro has spoken. He might not. He's probably not in the team, but he's motivated. Wilfred Ndidi has spoken. He's motivated. Moses Simon is motivated. Ekong is motivated. All of our players are gingered. This is the right spirit. This is the way we want people to be thinking. They know how important these games are, how crucial these games are. Smith Layi, where maybe in 2 weeks' time, the list will be out for the qualifying matches.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling? How is your heart leading forward to these World Cup qualifying matches?
I was a little bit more nervous initially, but when it's getting closer and I'm monitoring the enemy's camp too, I realized that if we don't get a win in Kigali, it's gonna be hard.
Hmm.
So we had it. So for me, I think I'm just taking it, easy. I know the list is gonna be out maybe probably by next couple of March or so. I think they already got their invitation already. So for me, I think I'm just waiting and see if that will be called up finally, and also discuss the list. And I'm happy that it's getting closer. I'm not going to be only watching Nigerian game. I'm going to be watching South Africa against South Africa against the Republic, and yeah. So I'm really happy. I can't wait for the match qualifiers.
And I mean, hearing someone like a Victor Osimhen, who is of course a leader in the team in terms of the way he drives the team forward, the energy that he brings into games, saying that he wants to go. Nigerian players have not shied away from saying that they want to go. Earlier, we heard even Olajuwon say, "Nah, that he thinks we'll still qualify." Is that the right mentality? Is that what you want to be hearing from them?
Yeah. It's what I want to be hearing from them. And if you look at Victor Osimhen, has never kicked a ball in the World Cup qualifier for Nigeria. Yeah, he didn't play against Lesotho. He didn't play against Zimbabwe. Remember the Finidi issue, against South Africa and also against Benin Republic. It was actually was there. So majority of these guys did not even play. If you remember, even Ola, I think Ola, came on against Zimbabwe also.
Mm,
Maybe against Lesotho also. I think one of those games came on. So they have not been like present, ever present. So if these guys are coming and they're motivated, I just pray that they are injury free. Because we all know that when Victor Osimhen is fit, what Victor Osimhen brings to us is different, from what other strikers bring to us. So for me, I'm really happy that he's also motivated and he wants to qualify. And he mentioned that in that interview that he had conversations with the coach that this and this. So he has been communicating with the coach. So that means that I'm also happy with Eric Chile. For him not to just call him once, he's calling him on a regular basis and to follow up on those players that has called up. I'm really impressed with what Chile is doing.
mm,
Not to just go and send WhatsApp message and like Finidi the judge. So I'm happy. I'm happy that he's doing that job. So Victor Osimhen is. I just pray that he's injury free and he can actually come and deliver for us in
mm.
Kigali.
And I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but also in that same conversation with Chinelo Kelechi, Victor said something like, they also want to get into the camp and have a feel of the coach and see what the coach is about. And that's another thing that I find very interesting when you speak to different players. They always tell you that, see, the first few days with the coach, all the players are sourcing the coach out to say, does this guy really know what is here to do? Is this guy really who we think he might be? But I like the fact, like you mentioned, that the coach has already started to build these relationships, talk to them, engage with them, tell them, you can't disturb them too much because they are with their clubs, but they'll just be
Mm-hmm.
giving them a little bit of your idea of what you're expecting, of what you're looking forward to, so that it's not like they're coming to the camp first day and then this is the first time that they're even hearing your voice or they're even knowing anything about you. They're already getting some ideas. And
Mm-hmm.
on that first day in camp, it wouldn't be too awkward. It wouldn't be too like, what's this guy wanting us to do? What's he about? And that's one of the things that I'm happy that the coach has done. He has been making his rounds. I've also seen Eric Shell at MPFL games watching. Smilai, do you think there's any MPFL player that is in line for a call up?
No, no.
Not even
The only
goalkeeper.
player, yeah, the the only player I think might probably. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And the only player I can see that is about to get a call up is Ifeanyi Onyebuchi,
Mm.
of Enugu Rangers. It's okay, but when I saw his tackle against Raymond Stars, two-footed tackle, I just wondered that these people they will not kill somebody. But I think if I Nyebuchi, but for me, I think already he said that he's done with MPFA. Now he want to focus on those that are part of the team. So to tell you that he's not even thinking about that. And talking about the coach, he said something, and I'm not meant to say it here. And also through our conversation with one of the players too, he said that what Chile explained and everything that he wants to do and how he understands the Rwanda game, he said that it's mind blowing. He has never seen that type of understanding before.
Hmm.
So that is different. He now said, so say some coach too. He said, let's wait and get to camp and see how he will implement it too. He said that's his part. He said he's explaining it very well with his assistants. Let's see what he will do too on the pitch.
Hmm.
He made that statement. So he said because some people are very smart, they can talk. I think we'll go to a talker now very soon. They can they can talk. It's just to implement it. So people are feeling Eric Chile. And if you look at Sadiq Kumar's interview, he said that now we got the Mali coach. If he can implement what he did with Mali in Nigeria. So this guy is they're already feeling Eric Chile. I just hope that he delivers for them.
Mm. And I mean, something that is crucial that we can also not ignore is the fact that we don't have that much time. We have to
Mm-hmm.
be aware of that because he
Mm-hmm.
might have fantastic ideas, but like you said, it's about how he's able to implement those ideas. It's about
Mm-hmm.
how he's able to implement those ideas. We need to be able to get the players to play and buy into the idea that he has in time.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, look at Man U, for example. Ruben Amorim has ideas. No doubt the coach has ideas of what he wants to do, but the
Mm-hmm.
players have not been able to get the ideas, and that's why Man U is struggling in every match.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one thing to have your ideas, be able to explain it, but the players also need to be able to execute your ideas. Otherwise, it can still be tough. So
I don't think the coach have any idea, the Man U coach. But that's a different for another day. That's a conversation for another day. I don't want to go into Man U better.
it's important that the players are able to grasp those ideas quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with all due respect, that's another reason why I would trust more of the foreign-based players for these kinds of matches because
Mm-hmm.
I mean they play with all sorts of high-level coaches at their clubs. Coaches that come with all sorts of different ideas, high-level
Mm-hmm.
tactics, not like very basic tactics. Oh, put body here. Oh man, all these kind of things. It's serious tactical conversations. So you
Mm-hmm.
expect that they have a better understanding of the game, and they can understand tactics better. So that if Coach Eric Shell is coming with his assistant and explaining one or two things, they're able to get it quicker. I still think that the coach is not going to make wholesale changes to the style yet,
No.
but he is going to add his own little tidbit here and there of how he thinks that we can improve on what we've
Mm-hmm.
already been doing, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it can work, especially with some of the injuries that are coming up now. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
it can work. Hopefully it can work. And I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I like Coach Eric Shell. I like the way he has set up his teams in the past. I like the fact that the players seem to be warming up to him and want to really give him a chance to succeed. I just pray
Mm-hmm.
that the players can go and really fight for him, fight for us, fight for the Nigerians in those two matches. And by the grace of God, we can win those two games. And things can look brighter for us looking forward
Mm-hmm.
to the rest of the qualifying matches. Because
Mm-hmm.
I beg, we cannot miss two World Cups in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I would trade any like this AFCON I would trade it for World Cup. Let's go to World Cup. I beg. I beg. It's always like you never miss a moment to roast man you. Oh
Mm-hmm.
god. But yeah, okay. So I mean we spoke so briefly about AFCON. But let's get into the comments that were made by one of our leaders of the team, the captain of the team, William Trust Ekong, of course, the MVP at the last AFCON. Um, he made a comment hinting that this AFCON that's coming up in Morocco might be his last one. If it is his last AFCON, then I think we can also deduce and project that the World Cup in 2026, if we do qualify, will probably be his last hurrah with the national team. Looking back, I mean, he has not retired yet, but looking at the way Ekong has led this team, has carried the team, MVP of the last tournament, you know, do you think that there is anything left that Ekong still has to do for the Super Eagles to solidify his legacy, or is he already somebody that we can consider a Nigerian legend?
For me, I think Ekong overachieved, playing for Nigeria. I remember in his early days, I think he was in a club, was he in Norway then?
Mm,
It was one club, he was in Norway then. And when he came to the national team and play against Chad, I think it was Sunday Olise that was, I remember maybe Keshi or something that was the coach then. I think they told him then that he's too soft to play African football.
mm,
And, and it ended up becoming best player in an AFCON tournament to tell you how far Ashashi was come. So for me, I think he did well already for Nigeria. And I think there's nothing left for him to actually what say he wants to do. I just hope that he could, just leave the AFCON and leave the AFCON, lead the Nigeria to win the AFCON and just and just rest like that. For me, I think he did well for Nigeria. And if I'm to see him, I would put him in the category of like for if I've been watching central defenders play an AFCON tournament, and I have to pick since I've been watching a central defender play for Nigeria at an AFCON tournament. I think Ekong performance, Uche Okechukwu performance,
mm.
yeah, I think those two. I think maybe Yobo's performance is 2004 too. You know, Yobo's performance is 2004 for me. I think Ekong will be right there.
Mm. Mm. And I mean, he has been incredible for us, honestly. And I would agree with you, he overachieved. Let's also not forget the fact that Ekong is an Olympic bronze medalist.
Mm-hmm.
The last time
Mm-hmm.
that not the Super Eagles, that Nigeria did anything relevant at the Olympics, because
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, we've not been doing well at the Olympics since
I want
then.
to qualify itself.
We never qualify exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's definitely overachieved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes they say you don't really appreciate something until it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ekong is one of those people that when he finally retires,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to look back and we'll be like, wow, I wish Ekong was
Mm-hmm.
still in the national team.
Mm-hmm.
With all due respect to our young centre backs that are up and coming,
Mm-hmm.
there is none of them that you're like, wow, this guy is
Mm-hmm.
the future. This guy
Mm-hmm.
is the next big thing. There's none of them that you are that excited about. It does not mean that somebody cannot rise to the level. Don't get me wrong, because even Ekong, we're not super excited about him as a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Ekong is one of those players that when it's done, we might look at him and be saying, wow, I wish he was still here. Because he has given a lot. He has scored crucial goals for us, not only in this last AFCON tournament, even in the two before. He has led the team well. He has really done well for us. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if this is going to be his last AFCON, my hope and prayer for him, also as a Nigerian fan, is that we're able to do one better than we did last time and win the tournament. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
also praying that we're able to qualify. I know he has already played at the World Cup, but I hope that he's able to lead this golden generation of Nigerian footballers. How many times do we have two players that are getting nominated for Ballon d'Or in back-to-back seasons?
Mm-hmm.
How many times do we have two players that are going back to back in African Player of the Year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Having players that are linked and playing for top teams all around the world. This
Mm-hmm.
generation of Nigerian players, I'll say this now. This current generation of Nigerian players, if they don't win anything, they'll probably be the most disappointing generation of Nigerian players, at least since I was born.
Oh yeah. Okay. Ah. Ah.
Based on the talent, the quality of players, the expectation, is one thing if we don't think that the team is that good. But this team that we have so many superstars and so many good
But
players,
is he a balanced team?
it's not about balance. In this thing that I'm talking about right now. I'm just talking about based on the names. I know that no be name they play ball, but based
Mm-hmm.
on the names, based on the quality. Even the places that are less, I know we are top heavy. We are top heavy. Our
Mm-hmm.
attack is loaded. Midfield and
Mm-hmm.
defense is not as loaded. But even
Mm-hmm.
in those positions, we still have good quality. We have Calvin Bassey playing for Fulham. We have Shemi Ajayi. We have Olaino playing for Forest. He was
Mm-hmm.
playing for Torino before. We have Maduka Okoye playing for Udinese.
Mm-hmm.
I think that these guys, this generation, me, I'm a 90s baby, so maybe I did not watch the older ones to see the ones that disappointed. At least since
Mm-hmm.
I was born, this is the team that has been so hyped. The players have done so well and have achieved so much.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't win something, it will be disappointing. If they don't qualify for the World Cup, that will be the big, big, big shame. The big shame.
I
Because
think I have to
some of them
agree
will
with
not get
you.
another chance to go to the World Cup.
I think I have to agree with you too. But for me, I was just trying to like look at it like the 2016 and this team, which one? I just think the 2016 are well balanced than this team, but this team have more superstars than the 2016 because if you say upfront, in my opinion, I don't think I think Victor Osimhen is better than Rafael Martinez. I think he's better than Umbina and so forth.
Yeah.
I think Lookman is better than Dewinge. That's how I see it because the numbers that Lookman is giving, Dewinge too did well. Oh. Don't forget, he was player of the month in the Premier League. He was scoring goals, but he also did well too. Utaka too, for Portsmouth. But you just see these guys are like, if not world class, close to world class. Up that up front, and you see Boniface. For me, I think
Osimhen and
Boniface has
Lookman I
got.
consider to be world class.
Yeah,
Osimhen
yeah,
and
yeah.
Lookman I consider to be world class.
But the Ghanaian people did not consider them. I was watching their podcast. They said that
You know,
because
and
Kudus is not world class.
the rest of them are not world class yet, but they are trying to get there. They are
Mm-hmm.
trying.
You get trying to get it. So for me, I think they need to win the next AFCON, but they are going to the Lions. Lions then. That is what makes it so difficult.
And it's what makes
Yeah.
it also so exciting.
Yes.
It's also what makes it exciting.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm so excited to be in that stadium, that final, and Nigeria to be crowned the champion. Oh my days. That would have been the best feeling ever.
and for me, I say this when I talk about somebody like an Osimhen. I don't give anybody that kind of grace. If
Mm-hmm.
if you claim to be high quality players, you claim
Mm-hmm.
to be top players, I'm going to put pressure on your head.
Mm-hmm.
You are expected to deliver. How can a
Yeah.
young boy like Lamine Yamal be expected to deliver, but somebody doesn't want Osimhen to be expected to deliver, or somebody
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want Lookman to be expected to deliver? If you are that good, the expectation is high. People
Mm-hmm.
expect a lot from you. For me, I
Yeah.
look at these players and I just see quality, 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 and I'm like, these guys need to win something. I know they've
Mm-hmm.
come close. I know they've come close, and I give them credit for coming second last AFCON.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to win something. They need to give us something to be excited about. It's
Yeah.
been what 12 years now since we carried
Yeah.
trophy.
Yeah.
We need something else to celebrate. I still remember that day against Burkina Faso. I know where I was, everything. We need to give this Gen Z need something to celebrate.
Yes. Yeah. For example, now if there's waffle cup now,
Who wants to win waffle? I beg.
yeah.
No. They need something, and I really hope that again Econ can lead the team to glory at this AFCON. And I
Mm-hmm.
really hope that they can qualify for the World Cup as well. Because in fact, that World Cup when they do be pass, if they don't want to win something, they should not qualify for that World
For the
Cup.
World Cup, at least
Ah,
play at the World Cup.
play at the World Cup. I
Mm-hmm.
beg. You get why? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's move on. Our final topic for today, before we wrap up today's show. Unless you've been living under a rock,
Mm-hmm.
you must have seen this story across all your social media platforms. So many
Mm-hmm.
people talking about he's giving all sorts of opinions. An English former player, now a pundit, made some comments. Look at his face. Look at his face. I'm talking about Jamie Carragher, of course, Liverpool legend, England legend. He made a comment and he really talked down and downplayed the relevance and the importance of the Africa Cup of Nations, Africa's premier sporting competition, Africa's premier football competition, the tournaments that we know African fans all around the world look forward to every other year. He said that the AFCON is not a major tournament. And he said that because Mohamed Salah of Liverpool and Egypt, is not playing in a major tournament, that it is going to be difficult for him to be considered for Ballon d'Or compared to like a Vinicius Junior or a Kylian Mbappe. Of course, he said this. The video went viral, uproar. Everybody talking, everybody complaining, having something to say about it. Interestingly enough, Jamie Carragher made some comments to explain or to clarify what he meant. I won't read the entire thread that he put out, but he wasn't really taking his words back. He said
Mm-hmm.
that people misunderstood him. He said he does not think that AFCON carries the weight of other tournaments. That
Mm-hmm.
if Mbappe has an average season but should win the World Cup or Euros, he still has a great opportunity. But someone
Mm-hmm.
like a Salah, even if Salah wins the AFCON, he wouldn't be considered for that kind of tournament. He said he doesn't think that it is disrespectful when he says that the World Cup, the Euros, or the Copa America are better tournaments than the AFCON, that it is just his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Smith Layi, and of course, I would just point out and say Micah Richards and Daniel Sturridge did very well to call him out when he
Mm-hmm.
made that statement. Um,
Mm-hmm.
But of course, people on social media have been talking about it. Some people have sided with Carragher. In fact, even some Africans, some Nigerians have sided with him. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, there are also people that have said he's talking a lot of crap and have called him out on it. Famously, Ian Wright even said in 2021 that the AFCON is just the most disrespected tournament in the world. Smilai,
Mm-hmm.
where do you stand on this? In your own view, I'll ask you
Mm-hmm.
this very simple question first before we deep dive into it. In your view, is the AFCON a major tournament?
Yes, it is a major tournament, but I just want to like play slightly the devil advocate here. One, is coming from Jamie Carragher. He's like a clown. I don't think people take him serious. If you look at Obi one podcast, they say, oh, Carragher said something. Obi says, next please, next person, please, next person, please. So it's someone like that you don't take serious. You look at he was trying to grant interview. Remember, in the Dortmund stadium. He was touching the player. He was, he's someone that is just that privilege. I don't want to mention it. It's that privilege that keeps him there in that job.
Mm,
In fact, I understand what Carragher is trying to say. The way he put it out, the inner bias in him overshadowed him. He was trying to say that if Musala wins an AFCON and they are trying to do a vote of a balloon there, part of the voters will not say, okay, he won't have called, oh, let me take. No, because for you to vote, journalists from the top 100 countries in the world have to vote for balloon there. And part of those top 100, majority of them are Europeans. They don't really know what in African continent AFCON is all about.
mm,
So he was trying to say that, winning an AFCON might not necessarily give him an edge in that balloon or race. But he got overshadowed because of his inner bias for going further to say that is not a mega tournament. He got it all wrong at that point. He got it all wrong. And it's that inner bias in him. For me, I just think that maybe he's so obsessed with Mo Salah. He got to a stage that when he was analyzing Mo Salah, Mo Salah tweeted that he's like, you're obsessed with me. I don't know. And I don't want to read race to this because Mo Salah is getting to the level of Steven Gerrard. That's level legend. He's getting to the level of like Dicken Daglish.
Mo Salah is looking at not just Liverpool, Premier League legend status. Like
Legend. Like
serious, serious.
Kenny Daglish, Steven Gerrard. So he said that it's at their level. But if you are looking at it from a different perspective, you know that Salah achievement in Liverpool is more than Steven Gerrard. It's more. But because Gerrard is a Liverpool true and true, that's the reason why they see, England player. But so he's so scared that a foreign Egyptian is now their king in Liverpool. I think that one is entering his head. So anything that concerns Mo Salah Carragher is always biased. I understood what he was trying to say, that it might not necessarily give you edge in the votings for Ballon d'Or, which might be true, in all honesty, because most people that vote, they're the top 100 journalists and from 100 ranked team in the world. Majority of Africans from Rwanda is 121. There's also this thing. They are outside the top 100. How many people are in top 100 in Africa? Maybe about 17 countries or so. The rest are Europeans. So he was trying to see those things. So for me, I think he got it wrong. AFCON is the biggest tournament, and AFCON is what makes us happy, is what we respect. See, I fell in love with football with AFCON. That's why I don't watch Euros. Honestly, I don't watch all this European this, if they are playing on a bare floor, I'm true African and I like the African game. That is my take on that. I think he got it wrong. I think AFCON is a major tournament, and I think that he's running naked now from pillar to post, trying to defend himself on all different social media. I'm pretty sure that he's not having sleep now. And I would like Kate Scott, that game, to ask him this question: when next the Champions League resumes next week? So I wish I wish you guys would get back for me. AFCON is a major tournament, and we love it and it should be respected.
I will say this: the AFCON is definitely a major tournament. The reality of it is that the AFCON is a very disrespected tournament when you go outside Africa. A lot of people don't pay it the respect that it deserves. But does not mean that it's not major. No. Like you said, Carragher probably just is saying the way he feels about the tournament. He doesn't respect the AFCON. He's not impressed. I think even I remember a few years ago there was the controversy with Jurgen Klopp and the statements that he made, even though people said that it was just misinterpreted. But the reality of it is that a lot of these Europeans do not respect the AFCON. Maybe because they don't respect the countries that participate. They don't think like, okay, Cape Verde is lowly ranked, so why should we care? Things like that. But it is a double standard, because when England is playing against Georgia, or is playing against Andorra, or is playing against all these countries, nobody talks down on those games. Nobody talks down on those competitions. But then if Nigeria has to go and play against maybe a Guinea-Bissau, then all of a sudden the Europeans want to make it sound as if, oh, now because Guinea-Bissau is not a highly ranked team, it's not a relevant game to watch, or it's not a relevant tournament. He's trying to explain himself, and I understand what you're saying and what he's saying about, see, the people that are voting might not necessarily use that as a barometer to put Salah ahead of somebody else, even though they really should consider it strongly, but they don't rate it at the same level. My only thing is that when you now say, oh, you rate the Copa America, but you don't want to rate the AFCON, for me, that's where I draw the line. Even if you say the Euros, I can even give you the Euros and say the Euros is high quality. But the Copa America, what are we talking about? Canada just finished what? Was it third or fourth in the Copa America, the last Copa America? Canada should come and play AFCON. Let's see how they do. Like, let's see how they do. In Copa America, other than Argentina, Brazil, and I know, yes, Argentina and Brazil are two of the most, historic, strongest footballing nations in the world. That's why you always say Copa America, oh, because Argentina, Brazil. But let's not act like there's some high quality across the board in South America. Let's not act like that. I mean, North America, we can't even speak about it. Is it Jamaica or Virgin Islands or Haiti or all these countries? With all due respect to them. But the quality in Copa America is not that high. They don't even have enough countries. That's why they invite North American teams to join them. So for me, when you want to rate the Copa, but you don't want to rate the AFCON simply because Messi is not playing in the AFCON, but you ignore the fact that Mo Salah is playing there. You ignore the fact that Sadio Mane is playing there. You ignore the fact that Ademola Lookman is playing there, that Victor Osimhen is playing there. All sorts of superstars are playing there. For me, again, it just speaks to that inner disrespect and bias that these people have towards something that is African.
Yeah.
They just, because it is African, they just don't give it the level of respect that it deserves. And it's a shame. And I think it also just speaks to how we as Africans need to also continue to push this thing in their faces and demand our respect. Because respect is not just going to be given to us. We have to demand it. We have to take that. We have to force them to respect it. We have
Mm-hmm.
to show them. That's why sometimes when people talk about, oh, why is AFCON played in the middle of the season? The reality of it is that, yeah, it would be nice if it was in the middle of the season, but I don't give a damn. Like, if the AFCON has to happen in January because of the climate in Africa, it's going to happen in January. I don't care what anybody says. Why should we always have to bow to the European calendar? We have to demand that respect, and we have to show them that we don't care. We are on your level. And until that happens, people will keep on respecting us like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see coaches trying to stop players from going to the AFCON.
Mm-hmm.
We have to show them that we are on their level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, a lot of people in the media have been saying all sorts of things, trying to justify what Carragher said. And I'm going to say in the media, in the Nigerian media as well. And I just think, no, we cannot, like, I know that, yes, we don't have the best facilities, we don't have the best resources, we don't have the kind of TV coverage that the Euros and all these other tournaments have. But it does not mean that we should ourselves now join them to devalue our own competition.
Mm-hmm.
Our competition is a major competition, whether they like it or not. The audience is there. Not everything is made for European eyes. Not
Mm-hmm.
everything is made for Oyinbo eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The Africans love it. It is major. If you don't love it, fine. I mean, there are some Africans that don't care about the Euros. There are some Americans that don't care about the Euros. If it's not
Mm-hmm.
made for you, it's not made for you. It's the same way when people talk about Afrobeats. Afrobeats is made for Nigerians. Now, if you as a foreigner choose to, or let me not say made for Nigerians, let's say made for Africans. If you as a foreigner chooses to embrace it and enjoy it, kudos to you. Welcome to the party.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot now come and be telling us that, oh, maybe because, oh, not many Africans win Grammys, that means that African music is not good. Do you get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because that's the argument that people have been saying. Oh, I know African country has won the World Cup. It does not mean the African tournament is not high quality. It does not mean that it's not a major competition. So I think we need to demand that respect, and we also need to make sure that we are not devaluing our own competition.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot allow somebody like and that's the thing with Jamie Carragher. Now that he's trying to fix his words, Smith, I always say this thing when I'm even talking about you and I and other people that are like us. If the average fan holds a particular sentiment, fine, fans are going to say what fans are going to say. But somebody like Jamie Carragher on a huge platform like Sky Sports needs to choose his words better. You cannot just spill things out there because you paint the narrative of a lot of people. And that's why I was so happy that Micah Richards checked him on it and that Daniel Sturridge backed him up. And Daniel Sturridge said, yes, if you are going to rate the Euros, you are going to rate the Copa, the AFCON is on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to fight for CONCACAF. I'm not going to fight for Asian Cup. Let the Asians and the North Americans come and fight for their competition. I'm fighting for my own competition.
Mm-hmm.
The AFCON is a major tournament and we need to treat it as such. And I'm happy that CAF, every time, every edition, they are getting more serious about it. They are getting better, because we need to put on the highest quality tournament every single time.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers have gone up in terms of TV numbers, the viewership, sponsorship numbers, everything. And we just need to make sure that the next edition is always better than the previous one. Always better. If any country is not ready to host it, don't give them. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot allow anybody to take us back. That's the reason why Nigeria cannot host an AFCON. Let's be honest. If Nigeria hosts an AFCON, it's be a disaster. If Morocco is doing one that is ready, let Morocco host it every time. If another country gets ready, then give them the rights. But we need to always make sure that anybody anywhere in the world that tunes into an AFCON match, the person is getting the same level of quality, the same level of excitement. The TV product is just as amazing as if they were watching the Euros, watching the Copa America, the Gold Cup, the Asian Cup, or even the FIFA World Cup. We don't have the resources that they have. If we get into history and all these things, now then carry the resources come out from us, but let's not get into that. But at least as we are, they should pay us our respect and we should demand our respect. And Jamie Carragher, I hope that in your dream, every night as you sleep, that all you are seeing is Mosala and AFCON for the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my take on that. The AFCON is a major tournament. Smith, do you want to add anything or should we wrap
No,
up?
no, no. It's just to say that this tournament need to be short. You should to respect this tournament. Understands that Jimmy Carragher is speaking on behalf of so many people. Opinion, and also I heard one useless man. I won't say useless. One guy that does not even add any value. He's been unsuccessful in his managerial job. He was collecting red card right, left and center. When he was playing the Premier League, he came out to support Gary Carragher on a video on a show of shame. I just look at him that what is this one talking about? So for me, I just think that we should not be chasing clouds about this matter. What is wrong is not. I can see a lot of people trying to support him to get more views, and things like that. For me, I just think that what is wrong is wrong. Here, it's condemned what he said to Africa. Have come to the America. We show them better when the World Cup next.
Yeah. I mean, and this is why we need to go and show them Pepe on the world stage so
Mm-hmm.
that they will not be able to talk down on us. I mean, shout
Mm-hmm.
out to Morocco for reaching the semi-final in the last World Cup. In
Mm-hmm.
this next World Cup now, if maybe like two African countries, one, two, three enter semis or one in semis, maybe like two or three in quarterfinals, they will start to realize that we're not joking anymore. We're not joking
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Okay, let me just quickly take some comments and we can wrap up for today. Um, it doesn't seem like we're going to get callers today. Because I don't think people want to call in today. So let's just wrap up very quickly. Let me see. Yeah, Timmy said he's not really trying to defend himself. He went on Twitter to double down on his comments. Kamora says the problem is that this isn't just the view of Jamie, it's the view of many like him. They all don't disrespect our beloved AFCON, but it is up to us to let them realize its great importance. Yes, it's not just him. I just think that for somebody like him that is on TV, he needs to be more careful with his words because his words are reaching millions of people. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not just him. And when somebody like him says something like that, you empower those other people to come out and say the nonsense that they are saying. That's why the other man with his ugly mustache can come and be talking anyhow. But I don't even want to comment on him too much because he's always he talks down on women's football, talks down on everything. It's just you know, it's just always causing one problem with the other on social media. Let me see what other comments. Then Emeka says all the continents in the world have their one major tournament. No tournament is better than the other. There is no justification for this statement. That's how I feel about it. It might not be major to you, but it is major to some, and we have to respect that. Taiwo Okunade says CAF has a lot to do in this. The branding, the TV coverage, and outreach, more fans in the stadium during games. Yes, we definitely have work to do. We definitely have work to do, but we also have to understand again that the resources are not the same. Things are different. In Europe now, for example, somebody can find a £30 flight to
Mm-hmm.
travel from England to whichever country that is hosting the tournament to go and attend the game. Things are interconnected, all those kind of things. It makes it a little bit easier. But somebody traveling from Nigeria to Cote d'Ivoire now or to Morocco for this thing, you're spending millions just to travel. So it's not quite the same. But those are some infrastructural things and whatever that we can also definitely try to get better. Larry says it is up to us or CAF to promote the AFCON. Daniel says Euros maybe AFCON is definitely bigger than Copa America, definitely. Because if Messi retire like this, who they watch Copa? It's just because Messi is there. Limelight says, I actually feel like Carragher might be low key racist. I might be wrong, or maybe it's coming from a point of jealousy. I won't call him racist, but again, it's just that double standard that happens when people are talking about African things. They just look down on it. They don't think that it is as high quality. Is I hate to say this, but even some Africans have that mentality. When they see something that's with another African, they don't rate it at the same level when they see it with an Oyinbo.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they might be doing the exact same thing, the African one might even be better. But I think it's just a bias. I won't necessarily call it racism. Nick says, IoT, forget Canada. Even England cannot win our AFCON. To play in succession against 6 or 7 African teams in tournament is not a joke. Kavaga is living in the past. He's a racist. Okay. BA says, I think it's a thing of ignorance. This is the same way they don't hold other leagues in the same regard as the EPL. Hmm. Let me see. Timmy says, we haven't won the World Cup, but how many sports do we have in comparison to the size of the association? We only have five. The Europeans have 13, despite CAF and UEFA having 54 and 55 nations. Okay. Oluyimide says, CAF as a body needs to do more publicity on the AFCON. It should advertise on Africa continent, major media, and also on others 2 to 3 months before the commencement. John Jones says CAF should improve attendances though. Too many empty seats during AFCON. I kind of already spoke a little bit about the attendance issue and why it's not as easy for Africans to travel and things like that. We're not as rich, that's the reality. Things are also more expensive in terms of travel. It's not as easy. But I think that we can definitely do more to increase the attendance. Because even I, as a lover of the AFCON and a fan, I also don't like when I'm watching matches and I'm seeing empty seats. It just makes it look somehow. So I think that CAF can definitely think a little bit more of what they can do to mitigate those issues. Shout out to Charles, our top super chatter for today. He says, "Thank you, Ayo, for this informative session." Thank you, Smith Layi, as well, because Smith Layi has been contributing. Um, let me see. Let me see. Alan say, "Marry one for connect like Colin." Oh God, I beg, don't kill me. Charles says, "What's your recent take or what's your take on Morocco's recent resurgence in football? They might win the World Cup." Smila, do you think Morocco can win the World Cup?
I think they have a better chance of winning the World Cup than the AFCON.
Hmm.
Yes, because I have my reasons. The AFCON is not a child play. It's not a child play. For example, in the World Cup, their tactics are immediately soak the pressure. But in going to play against a team with a low block, you know, and they don't have these guys to open up teams with a low block. I
Hmm.
remember them against Lesotho. They struggled to score one goal,
Hmm.
before they scored seven in the other game, you know. So for me, I think, you know, playing against European team, they will come at them, they will have spaces to actually want to operate. But against an African team, they're going to be the favorite. So for me, I think,
Your mic has cut off, Smila.
oh sorry, I think it's going to be more hard for them to even qualify for the semi-finals and win the AFCON. For me, I think they have a better chance of winning the World Cup than the AFCON.
Okay, let's take one caller before I wrap up. Humble Henry.
Yeah,
Good evening, Humble Henry.
one minute. Yeah, good evening, my brothers. How you're doing?
We're good. We're good. How are you?
Yes. Today's podcast is very good. Two things I will say. One, concerning about the qualifying, the difference between our players currently and I think 2006 set is the difference is the passion.
Hmm.
This current players they don't have the passion. Only few have the passion. If they can be able to have the passion that those in 2006 have, honestly, will be the best.
Hmm.
And I'm so happy that Coach Eric is coming. I want him to bring out those fires in those boys. If he can be able to bring those, if he can be able to make them to be focused, to be disciplined, I think we'll win the AFCON.
Hmm.
Concerned about the two matches that we're going to play, I am saying if it's under probability. If we do not win those two matches, sorry, let them keep him so that he can be able to organize our players. He can be able to organize our football. And another thing is this: I am not comfortable him trying to be at peace with everybody. They want to make peace with this. You want these people to support you. I'm not into that school of thought. If I'm a coach, if they don't like me, I ignore them. My works will speak. Because if you are trying to make peace of them to come and support you, to come and be with you, to come and stay with you, when you will fail, they will be the one to crucify you.
Hmm.
For me, yes, I would have loved him since they have talked bad about you, they have said it, they have said it. Let them keep that energy. Do your work. They will be the one to come for you, not you going to them. That's my own thing I will say. Concerned about what Carragher said, um, I didn't take it serious because he have not been to Africa.
Mm.
Assuming that I've been to Africa, I think his mentality would have changed. He's talking as somebody who is at far watching it. This is a tournament that people, scouts will come and watch players.
Are we even sure
Scout
that he
players.
watches?
Yeah, he doesn't watch it. That is the thing. Assuming that he watched those things, I don't think so. Assuming that he watched it, he would have said, "Wow." But this is. Let's be honest. The tournament that you see a lot of scouts coming to watch players
Mm.
how they play, and you say it's not a major tournament. Um, it's a lesson to us. It will be an avenue for us to show him that the what you call not a major tournament will be a major tournament. And I know that Morocco is going to deliver. And don't be surprised, it will be the best AFCON ever.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. I have already abused him already. So let him keep that his dirty mouth shut.
Mm.
So I have poured out my anger. So if you like, let him continue to rant about making noise.
Mm.
I rest my case. Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, Humble Henry. Thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts. We appreciate you as
Yeah.
always. And it's also been interesting to see how CAF has now been posting a lot of stuff on social media with the word major, major, major. You know, they said 300 days to the most major of all tournaments. Even William Trustekong has been saying, say it louder so that the people in the back can hear. You know, we have to demand our respect because at the end of the day, these people are not going to give us that respect if we don't demand it. We are the ones that just naturally give them their own respect, but we have to demand it from them as well. Otherwise, they've always looked down on us, and if we don't demand it, this thing is not just going to change like
Mhm.
that. Um, any final word from you, Smithai?
Hey, I just want to talk about Salamso's comment about attendance. He said that CAF cannot do much about attendance. It is a case of income per capita in Africa. Match tickets, travel logistics, hotel costs, etc. Our people might not be able to afford it like Europeans. I understand that one perfectly, and I think that even going to be worse because I'm not really sure that Morocco will open their borders the way Ivory Coast opened
Mm,
their borders to people from Guinea came, people from Togo, Ghana, Nigeria, actually came. And I'm not really sure that Morocco will open their borders like that. But let's actually wait and see. I just hope that CAF can look for a way to get maybe they can do like those to promote it more. Oh, 10 fans are sponsoring, just to make sure that people get engaged in this tournament and like because it's in Morocco. Come on, we need to have not only when Morocco or Algeria is playing or Egypt is playing, you have to see full crowd. We
mm,
also want to see when Mali and Guinea and sorry, Guinea not qualify. When Mali and Cameroon is playing, we also want to see big crowd actually watching. So for me, I just think that CAF need to look at that, to see exactly what they can do to just to make sure that the pictures of standards of field is
mm,
pocket.
mm. All right. We'll wrap up there. We'll say thank you to everyone that has tuned in. We're almost at the 2 hour mark, so we really appreciate you guys for sticking with us yet again. If you didn't start from the beginning, you can always catch the replay on our channel after the stream ends. And if you are watching um, on replay, we appreciate you for tuning in. If you are listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you very much for engaging and for enjoying the podcast as well. As always, if there's anything that you want us to talk about on the next episode, please ask the questions in the comments. Let us know ahead of time because once we get into the show and we start talking, we already have a set list. And as you guys can see, we already run long. So it's hard for us to just start taking new comments here and there. Ask us these questions ahead of time and we'll take as many of them as possible. I say thank you to everyone. If you haven't liked the video, please, please, please click the like button. It costs you absolutely nothing and is a way that you can support us and you can support our work and you can let YouTube know that we are doing good stuff so that they can show it to more people. If you can leave a super chat, of course, would appreciate you. And if you want to be able to watch highlights of Nigeria's players' goals and other exclusive content, please subscribe to Eagle Tracker on Instagram. Just go to our Instagram page at Eagle Tracker NG, click on subscribe, complete payments, and you would have access to a host of exclusive content, including exclusive interviews, exclusive reels, and then highlights. That's the one that people like the most. Highlights of different goals scored by Nigerian players, always posted on our stories on these match days. And we have so much more content that we're working on. I've recorded some interviews recently. I have more interviews to be recorded. I've been teasing an interview with Leon Balogun. It is coming, guys. It is coming. So watch out for that on our channel. The latest interview that I dropped was with a sports lawyer, just giving us some insights into Nigerian football, into football transfers, and the way things work. Very insightful conversation. If you are someone that is in the football business, or you're just a football fan that wants to know a little bit more of how these things work, make sure you check out my interview with Pius Ndubroku. It's on our channel now. And of course, keep on engaging with us. And we really, really appreciate you as you do so. It's been another Tuesday, another exciting episode of the Niger FC podcast. I have to say goodbye to you guys now. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is AyoT. I'm the host of this show, and my co host is,
Smith Layi, thank you guys for joining.
yes,
Thank you.
enjoy.